Good morning, my dear students. Today we will go to a new topic and we will discuss uh, a new related to sewage engineering, that is sewer appurtenances. This is the heading of the today's topic. Now, what is sewer appurtenances? That sewer appurtenances is the terms which is used in the sewerage systems, means various components which is used in the sewerage system or in the sewer pipeline for the effective or efficient working of the sewer line is known as the sewer appurtenances. Appurtenances means are the various components or various equipments which are used for in the sewerage system or in the sewer line is known as the sewer appurtenances. So first of all, the major component we can see it as in the sewer appurtenances is manholes. First of all, you have to understand that while what is manhole means, a hole is in which a man can enter, that is known as a manhole. Means it's a manhole, a word is derived by the combination of two words, that is man and hole. That's why it is known as the manhole, and in the simple words it can be learned as that a hole in which a man can enter for various purposes or for various purposes. So what are the purposes and what is the actual definition of a manhole we will see. So manholes are masonry or RCC chambers constructed at suitable intervals along the sewer lines for providing access into them. Okay, this is the actual definition. Means it can be of masonry or it can be of RCC chamber constructed at suitable intervals. Means the between two manholes there should be a proper spacing depending upon the average discharge and depending upon the diameter of the pipe. You have to keep the distance between two manholes. Now how the manholes are classified? First of all, there are three types of manholes, that is shallow manhole, normal manhole and deep manhole. So let us see one by one what is shallow manhole and deep manhole. Shallow manhole means it's a manhole that is it is about of depth, that is 0.7 meter to 0.9 meter, that is known as this shallow manhole. It is constructed at the start of the branch sewer or at the places which are not subjected to heavy traffic. Means now here the terms heavy traffic means it is not related to the vehicular traffic, but it is subjected to the traffic related to the discharge of the sewage. Therefore here we will provide this shallow manhole, but it is provided at the branch sewer, not at the main sewer or the trunk sewer. Okay, but the depth of the shallow manhole is about 0.7 meter to 0.9 meter depth. Okay, but where it is constructed at a sewer branch sewer which are not subjected to the heavy traffic or which are not subjected to the heavy discharge of sewage. Such manhole is provided with a light cover at its top and is called as the inspection chamber. That is, we have to cover with a light cover so that we can easily open that chamber, and that is why this manhole, that is shallow manhole, is generally called as the inspection chamber. Now generally these types of manholes are provided in the domestic areas, means in the household supply of sewage or sewer line. We will generally provided these types of shallow manhole or inspection chamber for getting the proper inspection. If sometimes if it is get choked, or for the proper maintenance or for the proper ventilation, we will have to keep some manholes or some inspection chamber so that we can properly function that sewer line. That is why these manholes, that is shallow manhole, is used. but you have to keep it understand that is this type of manhole is generally you provided at the domestic areas. Okay, and these shallow manhole are also called as inspection manholes, so inspection chamber. Now the major and important terminology is related to the manhole is the deep manhole. Now it is having depth more than 1.5 meter, and the section of such a manhole is generally not kept the same. Now you have to understand that it is having a depth that is more than 1.5 meter, first value, and the section of such a manhole is generally not kept the same, means the overall section, that is right from the 0 to more than 1.5 meter, the overall section of the deep manhole is not kept uniform. Okay, the size in the upper portion is reduced by providing an offset, and steps etc. are provided in such a manhole for facilitating the descending into the manhole and to enable workers to get up into its bottom. Means we will provide an offset and we will provide some steps so that a man can easily enter and can easily ascends or descends into the manhole and can for the effectively work inside the manhole. Now this is the cross section of the manhole, that is you can see the main deep manhole. Now I will tell you the terminologies associated with it. This is made up of sometimes RCC structure or brick masonry structure. We have this is the actual ground level, and we will generally provided a manhole cover over this top. So this is known as the manhole cover. From the top we will only see this manhole cover, and the rest of the things is close to the surface. But when we have to get inside or into the manhole, you have to open this manhole cover and get into the steps, that is these are the steps you are provided into the deep manhole so that the worker can enter into it and can descend at the bottom of the manhole cover. So this is the steps, this is the wall, this is the step offset provided, and then that is why it is known as this section of the deep manhole is not kept uniform overall, because the working area is this area, because this is the branch sewer, that is the branch sewer means the sewer the sewer line which is coming or entering into the main sewer, and this deep manhole is provided generally at the main sewer where the heavy discharges or heavy load of waste is used to come into this sewer. So this is known as the benching. Benching means we are providing the benching of cement concrete so that the waste can easily bench, it means easily can settle and it can remove into the main sewer. So benching means is provided for the branch sewer, not for the main sewer. And so this is the section, that is section AA, you can see is provided so that you can get a full idea related to benching and cross sewer and main sewer, and which is shown here, that how the branch sewer discharges its waste and how the main sewer gets into it. This is the branch sewer and it releases its sewage, and how this is the benching, and this is benching means it is uniformly distributed, or it carries that sewage into the main sewer, and this main sewer runs into its final destination. So this is the about this section A. This section, or this is the benching or the structure is completely made up of RCC and walls are made up of brick masonry. Okay, so this is the actual working phenomena in which the manhole can also effectively work, that is the deep manhole. Also the benching gives an access for the workers, that the workers from the steps descends bottom at the manhole, and where it will land at the benching, and it should provide a smooth area or a clear area so that it will work, it will maintain the sewer or the manhole, so that he can maintain or he can observe the working phenomena of the sewerage system. So this is the importance of the benching, and this is the offset, and how this the main sewer can work. Okay, so moving ahead, and next topic is the drop manhole. Drop manhole, in which a vertical pipe is used, that is a drop manhole. When a branch sewer enters a manhole more than a height of 0.5 meter to 0.6 meter above the main sewer, the sewage is and this branch that is the branch sewer enters from the height of the more than the height of the 0.5 to 0.6 meter. Therefore a branch is added, that is a drop is added, a vertical pipe is added into that sewer, and that sewer into that manhole, and that manhole is known as the drop manhole. Now that is why this point is written as that the sewage is brought into it through a down pipe taken from the branch sewer to the bottom of the manhole. Now how it is how it will function. Again, the overall section, that is the manhole, this is the ground level, only the cover we will see. Now this is the actual branch sewer which is coming at the section, but this is the inspection arm, this is the branch sewer, and this is a vertical pipe. Again the remaining terminologies are same as it was in the deep manhole. Now what is the purpose, why it is provided? It is provided because the sewage is not allowed to fall directly into the manhole if it is falling more than the height of 0.5 meter, as we have seen in the theoretical portion. To avoid the possibilities of sewage being thrown on the persons who are entering in the working chambers, and instead the sewage of the branch is brought into the manhole through the inclined pipe or vertical pipe, which is kept generally at an angle of 45 degree or more, so that it can easily come out through that pipe and it will meet the main sewer. Also the if the sewage is continuously being thrown at the height of 0.5 meter, therefore the scoring of the benching will start, and at some time the surface will become rough, and hence this is the importance of the drop manhole, that why it is necessary and why it is used. Okay, so moving ahead to the next point. Now these are the lamp holes. Lamp holes are the small openings on the sewers to permit the insertion of a lamp into a sewer. Means the name itself defines the definition that the lamp holes in the manholes, that the man is entered. In the lamp holes means a lamp is entered. Means why lamp is used, or why lamp is inserted, because the lamp is then viewed from the upstream as well as from the downstream of the manholes. Sometimes this is the lamp holes are provided in the sewer line because to check the obstructions in the sewer. Suppose if sewage is not moving from the upstream section to the downstream section, and where it is being obstructed, therefore a lamp is inserted into that section, and it is the obstructed lines confirms, and that light of the lamp shows that where the obstruction is are present in the sewage. So these are the lamp holes, that is we will provide the lamp inside the sewer line, and we will see from one end and from the other end, and where the light are clearly visible and where the light are not clearly visible, and if some obstructions are present in the sewer line, the light will not be clearly visible. And hence, what are the major purposes for using or for providing lamp posts? For the inspection, second for the flushing. This is the first is for the inspection, for the to check the obstruction. Second point is also for the flushing. In emergency case, lamp poles can also be used as a flushing in the sewer, because if the sewage is not getting the proper self cleansing velocity, we will also add water through this media, and therefore water will be flushing will be created into the sewer line, and hence sewage will move from one end to another end. Similarly, third point, that is it can be used, that is lamp poles can be used for the ventilation purpose, that if perforated cover is provided, the lamp hole will serve the purpose of ventilation. In that case, it is known as the fresh air inlet. Means if we have to provide the proper ventilation into the sewer, that is if the sewage carrying many foul gases, and if we will provide perforated manhole cover, so that the waste sewage waste gases, that is the foul gases, will try to emit from that cover, and that cover will also serve the purpose of the ventilation, and it is also called as the fresh air inlet. So these are the importance of the lamp holes. So moving ahead to the next point, that is clean outs. Clean outs is an inclined pipe extending from the ground and connecting to the underground sewer. Means it is connected to the underground sewer, and how this work out, that is clean outs means generally we will use to flushing from the clean outs, that is it is an inclined pipe, and this is the actual flow of the sewer line in which the flow of sewage is carried out. And if some obstructions are present, or if the sewage is not moving clearly, or if it is not moving from one point to another point, then we will removable from the removable cover, we will remove this plug, and we will insert the excess water, so that it will create the excess flow for the flushing of sewage, and then this will be clean of this cleaning of the sewer will occur, and hence it is known as the clean outs. And this is generally provided at many intervals, so that where the flat gradients are available, so that it is used for the, especially you have to understand that it is used for the cleaning of the sewers, and it is generally provided at a 45 degree elbow, and flushing is takes place or carried out with this with the help of this removable cover. or with this inclined pipe. Now, street inlets. Street inlets are the openings on the road surface at the lowest point for draining rainwater from the roads and it admitting it to the groundwater from storm waters. There are two types, means you have to understand that these are the street inlets, means this used for to remove or for the draining the rainwater which is generally accumulated on the road surface, and it will collect the rainwater with the help of this street inlet into the storm water pipeline or combined sewer. So how many types of street inlets are available with us? That is vertical inlet and horizontal inlet. Now horizontal inlet means the water will directly come into the flow of its that is horizontally, not vertically, and then these inlets, that is street inlets, will catch that water into this catch basins, and these catch basins will further pass that water, collected water, into the drain, that is sewer line. Similarly, in the vertical this is the one of the again horizontal inlet, and in the vertical movement these inlets are provided on the curbs so that the water can move vertically into the catch basins, and that catch basins further carries that water to the sewer line. Okay, so these are the about the street inlets. Moving ahead to the flushing tank. This is one of the most important point in the sewer appliances. It is provided when there are chances of blockage, when the self-cleansing velocity of the sewer is very less, or when the pipe is laid straight. It is also placed at dead end points. These devices store water temporarily and throw it into the sewer for the purpose of flushing and cleaning the sewer. Means, first of all, you have to understand that why it is provided. Because it is provided for the for the self cleansing, to generate the self cleansing velocity in the sewer. If the pipe is laid straight, or if the gradient of the pipe is not supporting the self gravitational force, therefore it is provided when there are chances of blockage in such area. It is also placed at the dead end points of the sewer, and these devices store water temporarily and throw that water in the sewer line for the purpose of flushing and cleaning the sewer. So there are two types of flushing operations. First is automatic flushing tank, and second is hand operated flushing tank. So first of all, we will see the hand operating flushing tank. Means in this the flushing action is achieved manually by one of the following methods. Means, which of the following method? That one of the end of the hose pipe may be connected to the nearest fire hydrant, and another end is placed in the manhole to achieve the flushing operation. Second, the outlet end of the manhole is closed by the suitable arrangement, such as used by many valves. Due to this, the incoming sewage entering the inlet starts collecting in the manhole, and when sufficient head is built, means sufficient quantity of the sewage is built, that valve or that device which holds that sewage is opened suddenly, so that this gets the flushing action. Also, similarly, the third arrangement is also given in the hand operating flushing tank, that the outlet end and inlet ends are closed by the suitable arrangement by using valves, and the manhole is then filled with the water by using cleanouts, and then the manhole and when the manhole is filled with the full water, and suddenly both the valves is open from both the ends, therefore that filled water in the manhole get discharged, or it will carry the impurities, or it will carry the sewage from this manhole to the branch, or to the branch sewer, or to the main sewer. So these are the hand operating flushing tank, but we are more concerned, or more dedicated to the automatic flushing tank. That is, now what is automatic flushing tank, in which the hand operating or the manual operations are absent. As the name indicates, that flushing operation is carried out automatically at regular intervals, and the entry of water is so regulated as to fill the tank up to the discharge point in a period equal to the flushing interval. Means this is the operation is carried out automatically at regular intervals, but not by manually. Second point, the entry of water is so regulated, means you have to, the entry of water, means that is the flushing water, is so regulated that to fill the tank up to the discharge point in a period equal to the flushing interval. Means this is the important time, that to fill the tank up to the discharge point in a period equal to the flushing interval. An overflow pipe is also provided to drain away the water in case the tank fails to discharge and thereby overflow. Suppose if overflow pipe is also provided if the tank fails, or if the automatic flushing tank is not operating for functionally, but it will but the discharge water is continuously entering, therefore that overflow pipe is used to drain away that excess water from the tank, and it will help to fail the or it will help to save the automatic flushing tank. Now this is the overall structure, or the of the automatic flushing tank. That is the tank, first of all, that is the holding tank, is made up of the RCC. This is the cover, discharge level, this is up to the discharge level, this is the inlet pipe, and this is the bell, and bell arrangement is provided into it. Okay, this is the overflow pipe which is provided beyond the discharge level. This is the discharge level shown in the dotted lines, and you can see that the bell carries a U tube, that is the longer arm, and this is the shorter arm, and this shorter arm is connected with the sewer line. Okay, and this overflow pipe is also connected to the sewer line, that if some if this bell, or if this discharge point is not functioning properly, then the additional water should be overflowed from this sewer pipe. Okay, so how this work? This is the sniff hole. This is the sniff hole. You have to, this is the very important point, that is the you have to remember that this is the sniff hole, and I'm getting into this, that the sniff hole, why it is provided, that a U tube in the bell cap at its one point connects the chamber, and the enlarged point is connect the sewer pipe. Means this is the chamber. This only working phenomena is related to this. You have to understand that this is how this manometer, or the how the U tube is work. First of all, you have to understand that this is the longer arm is connected to the chamber, and the shorter arm is connected to the sewer line. When the water level in the tank is below the sniff hole, when the water level in the tank is below the sniff hole, the water in the U tube, that is water in the U tube is at the level, that is, say this A and B, say it is this at A and B, that is shown in this point. But as the water level rises above the sniff hole, that is, as the water level rises above the sniff hole, further entry of air into the bell is sealed or restricted. Now further entry into the bell is restricted, that is here, means no water can be restricted, and water, this sniff hole creates seal, and no water can be added into it, and the air is caught, and air, this is the air, is caught inside the bell, and the bell is compressed. This compressed air exerts pressure on the water surface. Now which air? That is the air which is caught inside the bell, and it will create pressure on the surface of this longer arm, that is at point A, due to which the longer arm, the water level present in the longer arm is depressed, is trying to depress, that is it will move further at the bottom. As the water level in the tank increases, but the discharge level is increases in the tank, the water level in the long arm of U-tube goes on decreasing more and more till the stage is reached at the water level in the tank reaches that the this filled water inside the U-tube reaches the discharge level. At this stage, some compressed air release, because it is released in through this pipe and through this water, and the through the shorter arm, and the siphonic action so cause starts releasing water from the tank into the sewer through the enlarged pipe, and this water जो present है यहाँ पे, it will starts releasing from the tank into the sewer line through the enlarged pipe. This siphonic action continues till the water level in the tank just fills to the level 2 of the snip hole. Means it will start decreasing, that it will start moving up to the water level, decreasing beyond the level of the snip hole, and again once the snip hole water level decreases at the point below the point of the snip hole, bell will release the release, and the air pressure will remove, and again the water in the tank will become empty, and this at again the same action, that is the water level in the beyond the beneath the snip hole, it will create the water level once again fill at the point say BAB, and a water again will try to fill in the discharge tank, and again it will create pressure, and it will start creating pressure into the U-tube pipe, and it will create, and the entry of the water through the snip hole is sealed, and it will fill, and up when up to the discharge is the water up is filled up to the discharge point, and once it reaches the discharge point, and again clears the water from the discharge sewer line. Therefore this phenomena gets continued, and this is known as the automatic flushing tank. Grease and oil traps. Grease and oil traps are those traps which are constructed in a sewerage system to remove the grease and oil from the sewage before it enters into the sewer line. Such traps are located near the sources, contributing grease and oil to the sewage. Now these are the grease and oil traps. You can you have to understand that grease and oil does not mix with the sewer, and therefore it will comes out at the top of the surface, and these traps are also provided at some interval so that it will be removed at the top of the surface. And where it is located, it is generally located at the point where it is where we have the chance of getting the discharge of oil and greases. Similarly, it will having the sand, grease and oils, the sand will try to deposit at the bottom, therefore we will have to again provide a drainage pipe, or we have to remove that sand from this sewage. Therefore the same phenomena will be same in the sand, grease and oil traps. Now these are the inverted siphons. An inverted siphon is thus a sewer action constructed lower than the adjacent sewer actions, and it runs falls under the gravity with pressure greater than the atmosphere. Means this is the actually the inverted siphons. Means when the siphonic action takes place when the when the sewer line is goes beyond the actual ground level, and it can be shown that how the siphonic action takes place between the two chambers, and it is generally takes place into the hilly areas. This is the inlet chamber, this is the outlet chamber, but thus siphonic action should be takes place into the between the two chambers, that is the between our two manholes. And you this is the ground depression, that is in actual ground is not flat or not hilly. Therefore in such situations the pipes are create sloping, and siphonic action takes place, but in the reverse form. Siphonic action takes place either in generally it takes place in the upward direction, but here the siphonic action takes place at the bottom direction, or in the downward direction. Therefore it is known as the inverted siphon actions. So these are the cross sections. A1, 2, 3 pipes are moving parallel to each other, and the sewage is moved from one point to another point. So these are the appliances which is provided in the hilly areas. So if you have any doubt related to this sections, please put your queries in the comment box. Hope I have tried to comment. I have tried to cover each and every part of the section of the sewer appliances. If you have any doubt related to this, please put your queries and ask me. Okay, I'm signing off. Thank you very much.